All right, Shalom. This is Ahara One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. As you'll see on the screen, it says NASA on alert. All right, NASA is on alert. 7 comets are diving in. They said a recent comet just popped up out of nowhere called let me see, the Swan. All right, something called the Swan. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, you have a comet called Comet Swan. It says it's the new bright comet that has a long tail that stretches across 2 degrees in the sky, and amateur astronomers observed it near the sun. It originated from the direction of the sun relative to the earth. All right, so you got comets coming from behind the sun that are supposed to get real close to the earth in coming weeks. It says it originated from the direction of the sun. Whatever. Sorry about that. Trying to put some ads up. All right. It originated from the direction of the sun relative to the earth, explaining why it was not spotted earlier. All right. So we got a new comet popping up called Comet Swan. And then you have the 3-Eye Atlas, because they said 3-Eye Atlas is getting brighter in the past few hours. All right. Then you have last week, you were able to, a couple days ago on the 14th, I think it was, you were able to see, the 14th, you were able to see Jupiter. It might have been the 15th, but you were able to see Jupiter and the moons around it and the rings around Jupiter, what they call Jupiter. That's not the real name of the planet. All right, but that planet, you were able to see it with binoculars, so it was super close. Then you had a blood moon, I think around the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got a solar eclipse supposed to be seen around the world on the 21st. I think it's the 21st. All right, so it's a lot happening out in space. Now, these are all, let me get that real quick. These are all signs of what's to come. But also, what happens out in the heavens affects everything on Earth. All right, so when there's a lot of disturbance out in space weather affects the Earth. So it could bring a lot of cataclysms. That's when you start seeing earthquakes, mudslides, hurricanes. All right, because what comets can do is they cause the sun to react. All right, and you have 2 comets, which Comet Swan is going to be relative to the Earth near October, right? And you're going to have 3-Eye Atlas on the other side of the sun relative to the Earth, but on the other side of the sun around October. All right, so all these comets can bring asteroids with them. You have an asteroid that just popped up. Wait, let me see something. Pull that up. An asteroid that just popped up out of nowhere. Let's see. I think it said like 3 days. Yep. It says asteroid 2022 FA22 to skim past the Earth September 18th, 2025. That's today. Oh shit. Yeah, that's today. So watch an asteroid the size of the Washington Monument zoom past the Earth live on September 18th. That's today. All right. And these are all signs. But again, this could cause a lot of disturbance in what's called space weather, which could cause coronal mass ejections. All right. Um, solar flares. And solar flares, it affects the Earth's atmosphere, affecting Earth weather. All right. Floods. Okay. So let me get this real quick. This is Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. All right. We're seeing signs in the sun, lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, blood moons, um, fall equinoxes on the same day as the uh, full moon, and blood moon at the same time. And what's coming up, I think, is a new moon and a total solar eclipse on the same day. Well, if that makes sense. So in the daytime, there's going to be a solar eclipse blacking out the sun. And then at nighttime, there's not going to be any moon in the sky. All right. So these are all, everything's lining up. And then you have 7 comets. 7 comets entering the orbit. All right. So it's going to cause a lot of disturbance. So Luke 21 and 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth. See, that shows you we in that time where what? And upon the earth, distress of nations. So it's going to be a lot of chaos on the earth, in these same times. And you got Trump linking up with what's his name, Prince King Charles over there, aka Rothschilds over in Europe. You got India joining up with the BRICS, North Korea, China, Russia, all right, pushing back against America. You got the alleged war with Trump, America, and Venezuela at the doorsteps. You got the heated altercations back and forth with Iran and Israel. And then you got 3-Eye Atlas out there, and what they call it, UFOs, but chariots of the Most High being revealed. All right, so we're in a heavy time of prophecy. Luke 21, 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. The Lord told us what? Don't be afraid of these things. All right. He said, don't be dismayed. Don't be dismayed at them. For the heathen are dismayed at them. They're gonna be the ones in fear, because the men of the Lord and the believers, we know that it's like the when a woman's having a birth, the scriptures speak of that. You have contractions, and then ultimately the baby is born. The judgment day is here. So, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. It's gonna be chaos on the earth. All right, from what happens in space and from what's happening on the earth. So yeah, man, it says what? And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. So you gotta think about that, man. That moment is almost here, to where we're gonna see Yahweh Shai returning in a chariot, all right, with multiple chariots with him. He said, in a cloud with power and great glory. So that goes with the scripture here, where it says, there you go. Go to Revelations 19, and let's go to right here, Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. See, that's that cloud. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. See, the truth. He said, behold, he said his words are faithful and true. All right, though it tarry, wait for it, because that day will surely come. And in righteousness, he doeth judge and make war. So the destruction that he's going to bring is all righteous judgment. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. He got judgment on his mind. They said the eyes are the windows to your soul. So he's furious, man. His eyes are going to be like fire. And on his head were many crowns. So everything in front of him going to be burning up. And on his head going to be many crowns, meaning the destruction that he's going to bring to these kingdoms on the earth. All right, destroying Babylon. He brings down the whole system. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. That's going to be him and the elect. All right, and we're going to experience the glorified form of Yahushua. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. All right, the scripture said that he shall stain all his raiment. He showed up as a humble lamb to be crucified. And now he's going to show up as a mighty angel, a warrior. It says he's going to stain all his raiment. That's how much the slain of the Lord shall be many. And he beareth not the sword in vain. All right, not that he's physically going to get blood on his garments, but it's a parable, metaphor. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahweh. So he's Yahushua, and it says that about him during the times of Egypt. The Word of Yahweh. So in these last days, that same word is going to return. Here you go. Let me get that. Salakia. This is Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 15. Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne. He's going to do it again. Yahushua. He leaped down out of heaven, from heaven, out of thy royal throne as a fierce, see, eyes of flame of fire, as a fierce man of war in the midst of a land of destruction. I'm talking about Egypt. All right. And he delivered us from, Yahweh sent Yahushua to deliver us from Egypt, and brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword. All right, he's going to judge in righteousness, and he gave us the commandments through Moses. And standing up, filled all things with death. So when he stands up, he's going to fill the whole earth with destruction and judgment. And it touched the heavens, but it stood upon the earth. All right. So the judgment was seen in the heavens, but it happened upon the earth. It's going to happen again. So now let's go back. Let's go back here. Revelation 19 and 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. All right. So when Yahushua shows up, It said we're going to see his return on a huge chariot. Then shall you see the sign of the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven. All right, let me go back. All right, Luke 21 and 25, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking at those after those things which are coming on the earth. All right, so um, let's get that real quick. All right, Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth. Right, this is a parable of a young boy that's called to serve the Lord before he gets old and frail and is in danger of even stepping up onto a ladder or stairs. Could be dangerous because they fall. They could lose their life or uh, break something. All right, that's a frail. Um, what would you call it? Vulnerable stage. All right, in danger. So the Lord is telling us this in a parable to serve the Lord now before the evil days come nigh. All right. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. All right. And that's usually when we're old and frail. But he's basically saying when we're in the basic time of Jacob's trouble. All right. In distress. It says, I'm going to skip down to 5 to get to the point. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, just like an old man would be afraid to step up on a ladder or cautious. Right now, people are just living it up. But when all hell breaks loose, it's gonna be like Final Destination out here. All right, and fears shall be in the way. All right, fears shall be in the way, man. You know, so everything's gonna be dangerous. You can feel it out here now. It's starting to get like the purge. You know. So, and fears shall be in the way. So, men's heart failing them for fear of looking after those things that are coming upon the earth. So, fear shall be in the way. So, scripture say that the vintage shall fail, right? And the almond tree shall flourish. So, prophecy is going to reign supreme in that day. That's what the almond tree budding represents: prophecy and judgment. And the grasshopper shall be a burden. So, the smallest thing is going to be a burden to the economy and to its citizens here in Babylon. And desire shall fail. That's the mirth of the land is gone, right? People looking, chasing the dollar, chasing the American dream, that's going to be gone. Because man goeth to his long home, and mourners go about the streets. So let's go back, all right? Luke 21 and 26. Men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. That's talking about from the destruction is going to shake the earth and the heavens. All right, from the blast, 200 million ICBM warheads. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Come on, man, that day is coming. And he's going to be in a cloud, which scriptures in Revelation 19 describe it as a white horse, powerful, righteous, glowing. Kind of like that 3-eyed Atlas, but it's going to be more immaculate and magnificent than that. It says he's going to show up with the trumpets blasting. You know? And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.